Namaste everyone. This is Dr. Pratibha K.S., Head Department of Biotechnology at KLE Society Set, Nijlingappa College, Rajayanagar, Bengaluru. Today I am before you to present a lecture talk on proteins, under that peptides. Now let's go through the peptides. Peptides are the backbone of proteins, where the amino acids are linked together by covalently by peptide bonds. Amino acid units linked together with carboxyl and amino groups and are known as primary structure of protein chain, where you could not find any kind of the secondary structures. Whereas here, two adjacent amino acid molecules are joined together by a special type of amide bond known as peptide bond or peptide chain. In the year 1906, by name E. Fisher, who defined proteins are long chains of amino acid joined together by an amide bond, that is C double bond O NH. Polymerization of alpha amino acids with the elimination of water molecules can be seen in the proteins. When two amino acids are joined together, there you can see the presence of one peptide. When three amino acids are joined together, we can see dipeptide. When four amino acids are joined together, you can say tripeptide. Okay, and less than 10 amino acid joined together, we can say oligopeptides. Oligo means few, whereas more than 10 amino acids are joined together through the peptide bond known as polypeptides. More than 100 amino acids joined together through the peptide bond, then you can say here macropeptides. Okay. Here you can see a condensation reaction between the two amino acids. This is the one amino acid and this is the second amino acid. In the amino acid molecule, you can see the central chiral carbon atom, R group, H group, and one side you can see amino terminus, another side you can see carboxyl terminus. You'll understand in detail in amino acid unit. Okay. In this another amino acid also, you can see one side amino group, other side carboxyl group. R group, which is the side chain or variable region. And you can see here the H group. With the elimination of water molecule or condensation reaction between the two amino acids results in the formation of the peptide bond, a special type of amide bond known as the peptide bond, which formed through the elimination of water molecule or condensation reaction between the two amino acids. So now we got the very strong bond. Okay, strong covalent bond, C double bond or NH peptide bond. Okay, here you can see another diagrammatic representation. Due to the presence of amino group, due to the presence of acid, these amino acids are called amino acid. Based on the R group chain, there are different types of amino acids can be differentiated, and those are known. This is amino acid 1 and here the amino acid 2. With the elimination of water molecule, right, we found here the amide bond. Always whenever the polypeptide chains are going to form now during polymerization, one end will be amino group and another end will be carboxyl group. Okay, how in double standard DNA molecule, when you take a DNA molecule, always end you are going to mention 5' end and 3' end. Likewise, in protein also you can use the terminology N terminus and the carboxyl terminals. So you can see here this is the amino terminus and this is the carboxy terminus. In center you can see the strong covalent peptide bond, whereas R, which represents the different types of amino acid, different side chains can be observed in the R group or variable group or side chain group. Okay, one end of every polypeptide called the amino terminal or N terminal have a free amino group. The other end with its free carboxyl group is called the carboxyl terminal or C terminal. Okay. Now let us go to the biological importance of peptides. These peptides serve as an intermediates in the formation of proteins, right? Appear as constituents in a group of compounds called alkaloids. Antibacterial activities present in fungi and higher plants, we can see the peptides and their functions. And these peptides serves as growth factors. For example, folic acid, which is a water-soluble vitamin. Higher animals synthesize peptide, which serving as hormones. For example, oxytocin. This oxytocin is a peptide hormone and neuropeptide. It is normally produced in the hypothalamus and released by the posterior pituitary gland. It plays an important role in social bonding, sexual reproduction, childbirth and the period after childbirth, which play a very important role. Oxytocin is released into a blood stream as a hormone in response to stretching of the cervix and uterus during labor and with stimulation of the nipples from breastfeeding. Okay, this helps with birth bonding with the baby and also during the milk production. And the next one is vasopressin, which is also a peptide hormone, okay, which is also called antidiuretic hormone, in short ADH, also AVP or agripressin, is a hormone synthesized as a peptide prohormone in neurons in the hypothalamus. Are small peptide hormones which are secreted also by the pituitary glands. The next one is glutathione, okay, tripeptide. Glutathione, which is a tripeptide found in almost all living cells in controlling the oxidation reduction potential of the cell. Okay, and here next is insulin, which is a protein hormone secreted by beta cells of pancreas. Here you can see the structure of insulin. In the structure of insulin, we can see two chains. One is the A chain, other one is the B chain. In A chain, you could see the presence of 21 amino acid. In B chain, you can see the presence of 30 amino acids. These two chains, which are held together by the disulfide bond. You can see here the disulfide bond. Here, from the A chain, 7th amino acid and B chain, 7 amino acid, you can see the formation of the disulfide bond. Okay, in cysteine molecule in the side chain, you can see the presence of sulfhydryl group, that is SH group. Through the oxidation process, what happens between the two cysteine molecule, you can see the formation of disulfide bond. Other disulfide bond within the A chain at the 6th amino acid and the 11th amino acid, they have the tendency of formation of the disulfide bond, which will gives the native structure to that particular insulin. For example, if there is no in this particular disulfide bond, they would have not gained this particular configuration or conformation. Okay, whereas here in the A chain, 20th amino acid cysteine molecule and the 19th of P chain, you can see the formation of the disulfide bond. So this is the insulin structure. Total, you can see the presence of 51 amino acids and you can see the presence of 3 disulfide bonds. Only exception in this particular insulin molecule where you could see the presence of disulfide bond, but whatever we say primary structure of protein, in primary structure of protein, there won't be any kind of another secondary bonds other than peptide bond. Only exception in this particular insulin, we can see the presence of disulfide bond, but primary structures are linear polypeptide chain with only peptide bonds. Here you can see how disulfide bridge, which is formed, a reaction is what happened. Okay, this is the one amino acid cysteine molecule where you can see the one and amino group, another and that is carboxyl group, and this is the R group and this is the H group. Okay, SH in their side chain. Okay, there because through the oxidation process you can see the formation of the disulfide bridge. Okay, disulfide bridge or disulfide bond can be seen. This disulfide bond, which is very strong covalent bond like peptide bond. So with the oxidation process, disulfide bond is going to form, and this particular reaction may also happen with, also can come across with the reduction process. Now let us go through the insulin. Insulin, which is a polypeptide hormone secreted by beta cells islets within the pancreas. I, Dr. Pratibha K, signing off for today. Stay tuned with me. I'll be back with some more video related with the proteins. Thank you for watching. Vande Mataram.